everyone. I am Lana Quest of The Quest Show. I decided to come here and record a little bit of anything, something, again, content, because we will not be having The Quest Show live on Thursday because of the J6 hearing. It's slated Thursday, I believe, at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. or 7. I'm not sure, but it's happening prime time. So I know that we cannot do a show because obviously we cannot compete with the J6 hearings. Like, who do I think I am? Anyway, so I'm just going to talk a little bit about what's happening in the news this week. Some interesting things that happened at work. We are in 2022. And in 2022, we are out here in these streets trying to get voting rights strengthened. Like actually in the court with a bill, trying to get a bill passed to strengthen voting rights in 2022. In 2022, we are trying to codify gay marriage. In 2022, we have to protect who you want to marry. In 2022, we were trying to codify Roe. In 2022. So in 2022, a woman's right to choose whether she has a baby or not, the Supreme Court has struck that down, left it to the states. In 2022, it's questionable. People are like, what is there to debate? That's my question. Like, how is that even debatable? The other thing that happened in the news, I don't know if it was this week or last week, but it did happen. Apparently, during Black History Month, a Wisconsin school decided to have a Black History lesson. And the Black History lesson, and this wasn't high school. I believe that they were elementary school kids. And the Black History lesson was, if you had a slave, how would you punish it? Yeah. I guess that school district's like, hey, Black folks, y'all want us to teach Black history? We'll get you. We'll get you. We'll show you how. We'll teach Black history. You making us teach this? We're going to teach it. Right? And we wonder where these kids get these ideas to hate. Right? Where do these things come from? What are you teaching them? If you teach them how to punish a slave that's coincidentally Black, what are you teaching them? That they have the upper hand? That they're better? That's exactly what you're teaching them. So some Black parents sued, and a federal judge sided with the school. This happened. This just happened. The federal judge just sided with the school. So a judge thought that it was a good idea to have the kids write out how they would punish a slave. What kind of flipping lesson is that? I would appeal that and I would keep suing. Like, that's absolutely insane. So speaking of that, because it's blatant racism. Like, y'all see that? Y'all do know that that's racism. Like, it's like the quiet parts out loud now. Like, the schools don't care. People don't care. They're just so emboldened right now. And I know we were saying that Trump did not. It was always here. But he just opened the doors. Like, he made it cool. He made it cool to hate again, right? Because that's just what he did. Like, he bragged. He was braggadocious about, the criminals or the protesters, you just put them in the police cars and bump their head on the police cars. Or why can't we shoot the protesters? Why can't we do that? Like, he made it like cool. He just said what he wanted to say. You know, the shithole countries, like, people took that to heart. They no longer had to hide in the shadows. So now they're out. He let them out because now they think there's no repercussions for this kind of stuff. So I can just do it. That's why you get this. Because see, here's the thing. If a country was kind of born on racism, right? Like the country was birthed on racism. America was birthed on racism and hate. Took the land from the Native Americans, you enslaved, kidnapped and enslaved black folk. Like, this country was birthed on evil, vile, brutal racism. So when we start speaking out against that, it seems unpatriotic. Like, it kind of makes sense if you think about it. Of course it seems unpatriotic if this country was birthed on racism. So if you're speaking out against how this country was birthed, of course you seem unpatriotic to a racist. Because that's how this country is, right? Like, it kind of makes sense. Like, it just kind of does. So in order for us to combat racism, we have to admit that. Like, you know, stop acting like America has been that great, because it just hasn't. It definitely hasn't been great to black folk and to brown folk. It hasn't been great to Asians. Hasn't been that great to women. I mean, it's great now. Y'all are doing better. Well, excluding Roe, right? But America just has not been that great. Let's just come to grips with that shit. Like, it just hasn't. America, my country, is America is going back to what it originally was. So you can say America was welcoming to immigrants. They weren't never welcoming to black folks. It just wasn't a thing. You were sterilizing black folks up until 1972. It was still a thing. You were making black folks leave whole states. Mexicans too. So where was it so great? Why is America that great? We can make America great. Not again. We can actually make her great. Because I don't think she was ever great. We're working on making her great. She was on her way to something. I wouldn't say great, but definitely much better. But then America put a racist in the White House, and look what happened. All shit breaks loose, right? And the impact of those 4 years is going to take us years to fix. And that's just how it goes. It's almost like gaining weight, right? If you gain 200 pounds, you don't get rid of it in a year. Like, that's hella hard. It's going to take a lot of work, a lot of exercise, and a lot of dedication to lose the weight. We got to lose Trump's weight. We just do. And if we don't gain Senate seats, it's just going to make it even tougher, because now he wants to run again. And that's just a whole nother. I go back and forth with that too. Do we want him to run again? I mean, he's a good fire starter because everybody will come out to vote against him because he is hated. DeSantis is the scary one. He's like a racist gentleman. People will get fooled by him. And they will vote by him. And they will vote for him. Very, very dangerous indeed. But we do need those Senate seats, because if we get those Senate seats, we can immediately begin to lose the weight of the former guy. So quickly, I wanted to end this on microaggressions. And I wanted to end it on microaggressions because it happens to Black, brown, just marginalized people on a daily. And if you don't know what microaggressions are, let's go over what microaggressions are. I'm going to read you the textbook definition of microaggressions. Microaggressions are brief daily verbal indignities, whether intentional or unintentional. They're hostile and they're derogative towards marginalized people. Oftentimes, the people who are doing it don't really know that they're doing it. Here's a quick example. My assistant, he's going into law school. Yay! He is black young man, about 25, whatever. So I'm like, yeah, you want to go to law school, you got to get in with the partner of our firm, right? You want to be up underneath him. That's a good look. You write your recommendation letter, all that good stuff. So he went in, he went to talk to him. He came back and we were talking. And I said, how was your talk? He's like, yeah, it was good. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yay, that's awesome. He's like, what's going on? He's like, well, he's like, yeah, you're going to be a great attorney. You're going to be like a Clarence. You'll be the next Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas? Okay, one, why Clarence Thomas? Literally, Thurgood Marshall was the first Black on the Supreme Court, so why couldn't he go there? But he said Clarence Thomas. Now, this is why this is a microaggression, right? One, why did you have to say that? Like, why couldn't you just say, you'll be a great attorney? Like some of the great ones in our firm. I don't know, but why did you, just because I'm Black, so you had to say a Black, and then he's a judge. Have you ever said that to the white, interns that come in and come talk to you? I don't think so. I don't think you're in there saying, you'll be the next Brett Kavanaugh, or you'll be the next whatever white attorney there is, because you just don't do that to white people. It's like, because we're always the other and the outsiders, it's like you give us these weird connections. Who is connected with Clarence Thomas? That don't make any sense whatsoever. I mean, the managing partner is a Republican, but just don't say nothing. That's just so weird to me. Like, does he look like Clarence Thomas? This looks like people would say, I don't know why you have to be liberal. Look at Candace Owens. The fuck? Why do I want to look at Candace Owens? Like, who? That has nothing to do with me. What? Because we're both Black? That's just, please, people. That's not cool. It is so weird and it is so annoying. I'm telling you, years ago I was in an elevator. Magazines were popular years ago, and they still are, but I guess they're just online. It's Essence magazine for Black people, Ebony magazine for Black people, Jet magazine. Right, sounds like a lot. It's really not a lot because we only had a few. I just named them like 3, right? Maybe a couple more. I'm in the elevator with my Ebony magazine, right? Yay! This white woman goes, why is it called Ebony? We don't have an Ivory magazine. Why do you have to have an Ebony magazine? What? Excuse me? I was like, because you have Home and Gardens. You have People. You have just all of the magazines, right? Can we just have a couple? That's why we have to have our own. It's not like we didn't try to be separate, right? You made us separate. You make us separate. If every commercial was white, all of the dolls were white, like we didn't get that. So now We're like, no, we need Band-Aids that are our color finally. We need magazines that we want because we don't get as much as we need. And it has been like that for years. So those are the little microaggressions. It's like, get some black friends. Break some bread with some people of color so you really understand what I'm trying to say. You have white privilege. I don't think white people wake up and go, I'm white. For as long as I can remember, I've known that I've been black. Every day of my life, I think I'm black. Like I have a thought about it because there's some racial indignity somewhere, or there's a microaggression, or there's, can I feel your hair, or do you wash it every day? Like just the weird of the weird that always lets you know that you have been the other, which is black. So don't get mad at us if we want our own magazines or commercials or black museums. Like, we can have that. We've been assimilating forever. Let us have our stuff. Stop microaggressioning us. That's not a word, but come on. Like, it's a little, it's tough, right? But that was just a funny thing. And I have another friend. He goes, every time I left my job for the weekend, in the evening, they would go, don't get into trouble. They never say it to the white people when they left. They never said, don't get into trouble. Why did they say that to me? We think about things like that. And again, maybe a lot of this is unintentional, but we're very sensitive towards it. So just, be sensitive too. And that is how we begin to heal. That is how we begin to combat racism. Is to have these conversations. I know it's tough. These are tough conversations, but we absolutely need to have these conversations. We need to understand each other, and in particular, non-black, brown, non-marginalized people. You definitely need to make more of an effort because we have already made the efforts because we are here. So everything has been, just the world's not our world, right? We've had to fit in to body standards, hair standards, just all of that we had to fit into. And then finally, enough is enough. We just want to do what we want to do. We're going to wear our hair natural. We're going to wear our hair natural in the courthouse. We're not straightening anymore. We're not trying to be the same body type anymore. Like, we're not trying to lighten skin so we can look lighter because lighter is better. Like, all of that. No, we're not doing that. This is the beginning of trying to combat it. And we want you all to understand that, as an ally, you understand this, you understand. But anyway, I just wanted to come real quick. I don't know. Oh, this is 34 minutes. Hopefully, by the time you get to this spot, it will not be 34 minutes. I'm pretty sure I can get this down a little shorter for you. So thank you. Please watch our show next week, next Thursday at 8 p.m., The Quest Show. Please try to stay cool. It is like triple digits outside. You can see it's a little perspiration on me. London is like burning up. Europe is burning up. Siberia is burning up. Sequoia trees were in danger. Like, climate change is real. Climate injustice is real. Because remember, there are a lot of black and brown people that are marginalized that live in brick apartment buildings when there's no air. They don't have AC. There are no watering parks near where they live. There are no trees. So they are definitely suffering and being impacted even more than we are. So think about that as well. And thank you, Anne. Have a good evening. Be safe out there, guys.